So many people often dream of riding horses. The freedom of the wind in your hair, the rhythmic beating of the hooves pounding the ground beneath you. But before you go mounting up, you should saddle up first. Preparing your horse before you go riding, whether it's on a long trail ride or just a ride around the arena, takes time and effort. So get ready to get some dirt under your nails. When you ride your horse, you're going to need different types of equipment. There are two main styles of riding. There's English and Western. I will be showing you both. The first equipment I'll be showing you is the saddle. This is your typical Western type of saddle. Notice there is a horn on it, and it is a broader type of saddle. You could use this for long trail rides or just that type of style of riding. And this is your traditional type of English style saddle. There is no horn, and it's more used for maybe jumping or just the English type of riding. Along with your saddle, you'll need a saddle pad. Up front, you'll see that this is your Western type of pad. It is broad and it'll cover completely underneath the Western saddle. And this is your English pad. It is shaped just like the saddle and goes directly underneath that. One of your most important pieces of equipment while you're riding is your bridle. The bridle is what gives you the ability to give your horse commands. You can turn your horse and you can tell your horse to slow down, things such as this. This is a traditional English type of bridle. Notice that the reins are complete. It's one type of rein, and you'll usually use two hands for this. And this is a traditional Western type bridle. Notice there are two reins, and you'll usually use one hand for this. Once you have all of your horse equipment, we can move on to your rider equipment. Just as there are two different types of saddles and pads, there are two different types of style for your riding. If you're in a show type of situation, these are two kind of outfits that you'll kind of see out in the arena. When you are riding, you want to make sure that you're wearing a boot. This is a traditional English type of boot. It's just tall. Sometimes they're laced up at the bottom, sometimes they're not. They usually go up to about your knee. And this is a typical Western type of boot. There's other styles just as the English. There's some that are shorter and lace up, but this is one you'll see very often. No matter which type of boot you choose, make sure you choose a boot with a slight heel to it. This ensures that your foot's not going to slide through your stirrup when you're riding. This outfit over here is a typical English style. You'll have your jacket, and then you'll have a pair of breeches. And over here you'll see you have your typical Western type. You'll have a shirt that either has a collar with it, some type of collar with it, and then you'll typically have your chaps. Your last piece of equipment for yourself, and probably your most important piece of equipment, is your helmet. You should always wear your helmet no matter what, especially if you're inexperienced, because even the most experienced riders have accidents, so it's always better to be safe than sorry. If you're in a type of situation where you're just practicing, it's more for comfort rather than show, but just make sure you wear a type of pant. If you wear shorts, that can kind of cause rubbing and discomfort. Once you have your clothing and your other equipment, you're ready to start saddling up. The first thing you want to do when you are saddling is tie your horse to an area where it is not going to get loose and it's not going to harm itself or anyone around. Once you have the horse tied up, you're going to want to brush your horse to make sure there's no dirt or debris on its back or where it's going to be tied up. You can use a brush such as this one. By removing the dirt, you're making sure that it's not going to rub with the saddle pad or make discomfort for your horse as well. After brushing your horse, you want to put your pad on next. You want to put the pad directly on the middle of your horse's back, placed a little bit further up towards the withers or the end of the mane. to tie it. There are different types of tying on each saddle. At this point, you're probably going to want to talk to your instructor, but just follow your instructor's directions. Excuse me. Every horse is different. Make sure you don't tighten up too much. It can be cinchy, which means that if you tighten it up too much, the horse might react in a bad way, freak out, and so that's another thing you want to talk to your instructor about. Next, you're going to want to bridle your horse. This is another part where you want to talk to your instructor. They might help you. Some people kind of get scared about this. Don't worry about it. Relax. Be confident in what you're doing. The last few steps that you're going to go over before you're ready to ride is mostly checks and reviews. First, you're going to check to make sure you don't need any other equipment. This could include a crop or a whip or spurs. So you're going to grab those things. Lastly, you want to check your helmet. Make sure that it fits right and it's properly fastened. It's not loose or anything like that. And before you jump on or mount up, you're going to want to do a last-minute tighten. Horses will release or suck it in when you're first tightening it up, so you're going to want to tighten it up again to make sure that it is perfect. Just a few rules to go by is, especially if you're a first-time rider, make sure you're going to ride with somebody who is experienced. They'll help you with things. And lastly, just make sure to use common sense, safety first, and this includes the safety of yourself and your horse. So thank you again for listening, and happy trails to you all.